Hey guys, welcome back. Now, the crypto market has taken a beating over the last 6 months, and unfortunately, Ethereum too has been hit hard. At the time of this recording, Ethereum is down 60% from its all-time high set back in November last year. So the question is, how will Ethereum be performing over the next 6 months? It will be going through its biggest technical upgrade with the merge in just a few months. So will the price be going up or down from here? Well, after my most recent video where I projected the price for Bitcoin, I had many requests saying, can I do the same for Ethereum? So that's what this video is all about. So we'll be looking at Ethereum's bear market performance. How is it doing in this big downturn? Then we'll do some comparisons to try to get a better perspective. As yes, it's down 60%, but how does that compare against Bitcoin and other cryptos? And then we'll finish up with the price forecast for the end of the year based on a logarithmic regression chart. As always, if you do enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like. Always appreciated. Okay, so unfortunately, Ethereum has taken a bit of a beating over the last 6 months, but to fully understand how bad or how well it's fared, it all depends on what we compare it against. So let's do some comparisons to get the full picture. So to get the full context of how Ethereum is performing in this big downturn, we have to do some comparisons. So let's start with Bitcoin. And this is against Ethereum. So at the time of this recording, Bitcoin is now down from top to bottom about 55%. And Ethereum, as mentioned at the beginning, is 60%. So as Bitcoin is deemed the safest bet, then Ethereum is actually not looking too bad. But we have to remember, Ethereum is an altcoin. And yes, it's number one in its category, but it means that it's always got several competitors, making it higher risk. Now, its closest competitor in terms of TVL in DeFi was Terra Luna. And we all know this has now crashed down 99.9%. So compared to that, Ethereum is doing very well, obviously. Then we had two of the new up and coming chains. There was a lot of hype around Solana. Solana is now down about 82%. So Ethereum's looking pretty good against that. And then another one which was storming up the charts was Avalanche. And currently right now, it's down about 80%. So I would say compared to these, Ethereum actually is doing pretty well. And we have to remember, it's all about the risk curve. So this is the risk curve, and this is how much potential reward you could be getting from your investments, measured against how much risk you are prepared to take. So obviously, Bitcoin is the safest bet when it comes to crypto. You're only taking a little bit of risk, and in the middle of the bull run, everyone's taking the piss out of Bitcoin because everything else is outperforming. With Ethereum, it's kind of like the sweet spot, which is why a lot of people like it. You're taking more risk, but you do get more reward in an up market as well. Then obviously we have the others, and you're taking a lot more risk with these newer protocols. As we know, one of them did blow up. And in a downturn, these are getting hit much harder. And now it's all coming down. Bitcoin is looking pretty good. So this gives some context. Now, what else can we compare it against? Well, how about the world's largest corporations? So here we have a big list of the top 100 companies in the world. We have Ethereum here, which is at about 51. But this is just to show that even in this massive crash where it's lost 60%, it's still bigger than Verizon. It's still bigger than Costco. It's still bigger than Adobe, the Walt Disney Company, Wells Fargo. We've got McDonald's, and these are decades-old companies. So when compared to major corporations, again, Ethereum is looking pretty good. Now, on to the price forecast, and here we have Ethereum's logarithmic regression chart. Similar to the last video, we have the middle range is this green line here, which goes through. So this would also be known as fair value historically. And then we have standard deviations above and below. So this is 1 standard deviation, 2, 3, and 4. And then same below, 1 standard deviation below, 2, 3, and 4. Now, to be honest, I actually prefer to base Ethereum's price off what Bitcoin is doing. However, I'm just showing this as a lot of people had requested it. Now, Ethereum doesn't have as much history as Bitcoin, so this is only going back to about 2016. But you can see that it still goes majorly overvalued, undervalued, overvalued, etc. I think one of the interesting things that it shows here is that Ethereum has had a period of about 2 years where it had been in extreme undervalued territory. So this has happened in the past, so there's nothing to say that this couldn't happen again. But as a log chart, you have to remember as well that it always increases in value over time. So even though it may be 3 standard deviations here, which is about $100. Now, it might look like it's coming down to this extreme undervaluation, but as we go further in time, you can see even at the bottom, it's $235, even though it was $100 here. So just something to bear in mind. Now, what's it saying as of right now? Well, we are in this band here, 2 standard deviations below, sitting around $2,000. Now, it did briefly pierce into the 3 standard deviation here before quickly bouncing back. And it's saying fair value right now is actually around just over the $4,000 mark. So this chart is saying that Ethereum is pretty undervalued right now. And what about where it's going to finish by the end of the year? Well, its mid-range is actually pretty high at over $6,000. So that would be a new all-time high. 1 standard deviation below is over the $4,000 mark. If it stays where we are today, we're looking at about the $3,000 mark. If we start going really undervalued, we have the 2,000, which is where we're at right now. And then as low as it gets is around the 1,500. So even being conservative, the 3,000 or 4,000 is still 50% or 100% higher than where it is today. What will be really interesting is to see what happens to Ethereum's price as it goes through the merge. The crypto market has taken a beating over the last 6 months, and unfortunately Ethereum has also been hit hard. The logarithmic regression chart is saying that Ethereum is undervalued right now and only 1 crash away from being extremely undervalued. We have to remember that Ethereum is also an altcoin. Yes, it is number 1 in its category, but that means it always has several competitors that are always the next big thing. Whereas Bitcoin is still in its own category and so remains the safer bet. Now, when compared against other altcoins, Ethereum is actually doing pretty well. Terra Luna was Ethereum's closest competitor in terms of total value locked in DeFi, and as we all know, that got wiped out. Then 2 of the most other promising chains, we had Solana and Avalanche, they have been hit much harder. And I also like the fact that Ethereum does have a longer track record and is more battle tested. It's already been through a much bigger drop in 2019 when it crashed 95%, dropping all the way down to just $80. Then from $80, it went all the way to its all-time high, close to $5,000. And that's a run of almost 6,000%, just to show you what Ethereum is capable of and what it's done in the past. Now, remember, it all comes down to the risk curve. Yes, Ethereum does have more risk than Bitcoin, but then in an uptrend, it will likely continue to outperform Bitcoin as well. So if you want to take more risk and go for the bigger gains, then you're going to have to accept and get used to the bigger drops as well. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Now, I still have my entire ETH holding and I won't be selling anytime soon. In the next video, we'll be taking a look at how low can this bear market go? Where do we think the bottom is going to be? So stay tuned for that. But for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like. And a big thank you to everyone who does. If you haven't yet subscribed, click below and join us. Got some great videos coming up that you don't want to miss. Okay, cheers guys. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.